desperately wants to talk. Their next guest, first time ever being on the show, Julia Budd coming on the show. Boom.
Hello.
Hey, Julia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing good. First random question before we get into a lot of stuff. Were you in Las Vegas for a big boxing fight? Was it for Tank Davis fight? Were you there in Las Vegas?
I wasn't there.
Okay. All right.
I wish I was.
No, I thought I saw you. I was doing some media stuff and I thought I saw you. I almost ran to say hi to you, but like you went another way and I was like, no, it was all good. But
well, it wasn't her, so
yep, there you go. So how's life, Julia? How's everything going?
It's been going really well. Yeah. Hopefully I'll have some fight news in the next couple days for December. So
let's go. That's awesome. Where are you joining us from, by the way?
From my home on the Sunshine Coast, like just outside of Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that's amazing. I want to visit that place desperately. And then look at you, your home. Your home looks like a amazing boxing gym. It looks like
we have a gym in our house. So yeah. We're always training basically. We got this done like in 2020 when all the gyms were shut down and we kind of built it and And
can you give us the view of let's see the home gym?
Yeah, the
beautiful
little workout area, and then kind of like some mat space, enough mat space, bags. So yeah,
incredible.
I saw the TV was above it. Do you watch fights there in the gym area?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, basically like study, film study.
I'm in a closet. I got some really cool pictures, and I'm super jealous. Julia definitely wins with the background for sure, El, for sure. We're nobodies, El. You got a board with mediocre handwriting on it. I love it. All right, Julia, back to you. I'm sorry, we're off the rails a little bit right now. You said December. What's happening in December that people
maybe Bare Knuckle. So that out. I was supposed to fight in October on their Spain event, but I had some issues with my visa, so it kind of held me up a little bit. But hopefully December.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you're jumping into Bare Knuckle FC?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
100% sure. The one last I heard about the 145 division in Bellator, Pacheco and Cyborg just had like an amazing fight, but I'm not sure what they're doing with the 145 pound, and I kind of been on the waiting to hear or hoping for a fight with them for a while, and so we'll see.
Can I throw something out there for you? The my great boss right there, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. I'm in 2 weeks going to Biloxi. I work for Gamebred Bare Knuckle MMA, so you can have your jits. You can on the ground and pound. We can Julia Budd that we all know and love. Have you talked to them about maybe sliding into that?
I haven't actually. I watched a few of their fights, but like I'd be willing. At this point, I've been itching for a fight. I've been out since like June of last year.
June 16th.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell like you said, you've been sitting, you've been waiting. Was this kind of because of the merger for you? What kind of went down that has kept you waiting on the ropes here?
Well, I was supposed to fight Kayla last year on I think the November card that they had, the last card. And that didn't end up happening due to like some contract issues. And so I prepared for that fight like fully, and then that kind of fell through. So I was obviously like I had a full camp. I was ready to go for that. And so that's kind of was like that's why I was out of that fight. And then after the merger, it was kind of up in the air about what was going to happen last year for the 145ers. They cut the division for the season. So they put in the 125ers versus the 145ers. So that was I kind of found that out in March. And then I was just out waiting, like preparing to hopefully fight on one of their like backup fights, like be a backup for one of their 145 pound girls that were fighting. And nobody kind of fell out for that, like everybody fought. So And then the ones that did like miss weight or had those kind of issues were like 1 day before or 2 days before.
So I do have a question. I wonder if you can enlighten this on me on the weight misses. So do you know how it works within the tournament structure? Because what I thought would happen, she's already shaking her head. So I think you know where I'm going. What I thought would happen, because I was at an event, I can't remember which one it was, but somebody missed weight and there was an alternate there. So I was like, oh, okay, the alternate who's made weight is going into the tournament, right? And then that didn't happen. So I was like, so why is the alternate there? What is the protocol for weight misses?
So in 2022, I had my 155-pound debut, like kind of making weight. That's a weight class above mine. And
yes. I was there.
It was in Texas or something, but I weighed in and there's an alternate there and my opponent missed weight by like 6 or 7 pounds.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, we'll fight the alternate, obviously, because 7 pounds is pretty big miss. Class, like I wasn't cutting weight to make 155. So I was like, and then we're like, what did she weigh in at for fight week? Because we all get checked and they were like 180. And I was like, man.
For a woman?
That's
a lot of weight to lose.
And it was like, no, not happening. You got to fight. It's either this fight or nothing. And we're like, what? Like, I thought that's why there was an alternate there. And then I think after that rules changed. So I'm not sure, but that was that was a huge, huge size difference for me. I was like, whoa. Right. And then I ended up breaking my orbital, like getting my orbital broke in the first round of that. So then I was out of that season. So I couldn't fight my next fight actually, which kind of sucked. So I don't know what it is with the weight misses, but I think I don't know. It depends who you know.
The show I saw this happen at was just this season. So I don't think they changed it.
Okay.
To answer your point there.
Yeah. That amount of a weight miss is like, there's no chance you're allowed to fight. Like
right. And I don't know if you remember. So I was there at that event. I was there. I talked to you beforehand. You've always been, by the way, super, super nice to me and very, very pleasant to be around. And it's fight week and weight cut and all that stuff. And some fighters are and all that. You've always been great to us. So first of all, kudos to that. We appreciate you. You've always been awesome. But like, I remember that. And like, you know, I'm a nice, decent guy. So like I have some good ties there and I'm talking with some of the people and I know Ray and all this stuff. And I thought it was crazy, especially your thing. And they're like, yeah, they're just going to do it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you can't do that. Like you have this alternate 7 pounds is crazy.
They're like, nope, it's either that doesn't matter. We're like, well, there's somebody else already weighed in like on weight to be the alternate. I think it was a little bit like, whatever. I got it. I had to let it go. That one really pissed me off. So I was like, it didn't even feel like you tried to make weight. It was like, it's an advantage and it is an advantage in our sport. And obviously my game plan was to wrestle. And that's a pretty huge, but I'm only pissed off that I didn't beat her.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense to advance in the tournament if you miss weight. You wouldn't be eligible for a title if you miss weight. So I agree with you.
So I not to try to we're not that gotcha company. We are definitely not. We're I think a fan friendly company, a fighter friendly company. Everyone that works with us are all fighters and are still working. We respect and love everyone in the industry. But if I could just say, like, hearing from you, it seems like you are kind of done or cutting ties with whatever that entity is with PFL and Bellator. Is that fair to say?
No, because there's still like, I could say it's still my number one choice. Like when it comes to, for sure, with my weight class, we're limited at 145 of where we can.
Yeah.
And I definitely would love to fight with them again, obviously, because I'd love to have a Cyborg rematch. I'd love to fight Pacheco again. I'd love to fight any of those girls, but, it's always like our weight class is always kind of told like, oh, you know, there's just not enough depth for the 145 pounds. And it's like, come on. I would say that if you look at who's fought at 145 in women's MMA, these have been like some of the most groundbreaking fights for, Ronda, it was 145, Amanda, you know, Cyborg. Like we have like a lot of the big names that kind of helped put women's MMA on the map. So like we always get the shaft when it's like, oh, there's just not enough talent pool in this division to, you know, make it work. And I think a lot of so I don't know. We'll see what happens next year, but we always get told like, oh, we don't know what even's happening with this division. So
as an atom weight, I understand your plight
yeah.
very much.
Yeah, there you go. So what it looks like they might be bringing in the atom weights, right? So
it's not the first time Dana said that. I'm not holding my breath. But on that same note, a lot of people, you know, we're looking at Kayla Harrison. We're like, there's absolutely, she was massive at lightweight. There's no way she's ever making 135. Has that, I know you haven't made 135 in your career, but have you considered it? And have you thought that maybe it's a possibility?
Yeah, we definitely tried before, like for Strikeforce, because I was I think I was like one of the first fights at 145 but when they first bought, or the UFC or Zuffa still like whatever bought Strikeforce. So I fought and they cut whoever couldn't make 135. So I tried for like 8 months and it just wasn't healthy for me. I don't know. And 135's like, I made 139 and it was brutal. So it was like months and months of dieting and then a horrible weight cut. And I just was like, you know what? I don't feel good at this. And 145 is just a perfect amount of weight to cut. And with me being really disciplined even. So yeah, I don't know.
I assume a couple weeks ago, a big fight kind of in your bracket. You said both of their names already. 2 fights that you fought with Cyborg and Pacheco. Did you watch the fight? Were you hoping one way or another? Did it go? Would it be better for you personally in the future? I just want your take on when Cyborg and Pacheco fought and they won, and when Cyborg won.
So I thought what like first of all just like shows like her experience, Cyborg's experience.
Yeah.
Oh, like even to have both those be just totally sliced up right away and get through that fight, and she did great. I was kind of rooting for her because I feel like I beat Pacheco and I felt like I got robbed in that decision, but
sure,
whatever, you know, like leaving it to the judges. I could have done some things differently, and but yeah, I was rooting for Cyborg. I just thought that it was like her and I wanted. So I thought it was a great fight, and I thought like Pacheco's dangerous the whole way through. Like
she was,
were pretty tight. I was like, oh my god, like, and then just but I thought Cyborg just showed like a complete mixed martial arts game and beat her with her wrestling. Like some of her takedowns were beautiful, and
And with that, like, has PFL or Bellator, or even not even that, has anyone else ever reached out to you? Like, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I'm giving you too many compliments. I feel like compliments are good. Anytime we've talked or I've heard you talk, like, you're very good communicating, especially communicating what you are seeing, like MMA stuff that other people are not seeing, the novice people. Have they talked to you about, you know, especially that fight? Like, you would have been a great person to be out there and kind of give your take on the fight and what they were seeing and what was going to happen, and even post fight. Have they ever talked to you about kind of doing that side of it, this side of it, like the analyst side, and being that?
No, not really. Like they haven't asked me for that, but obviously I'd be willing. Like I just really, I've been begging to get back in there. Like I've been begging Mike Hogan. I'm like, man, like let me fight. Like, and he's like, you know, they're just so full. Bellator's events got cut down by however many. They're the only ones doing the 145 pound fights, women's fights. But I mean, it's like fair. It feels a little bit like whoever the favorite, I don't want to say manager and fighters are that get the slots, but I don't think I'm, you know, I think it's not just being a woman fighter, but it's like, I just don't think that we're like on the top of the priority list of who's getting the main fights on those cards. Like you look at a Bellator card and you're like, come on, like I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of a theme there of who's getting the slots and the fights and who's the main priorities and who's kind of pushed down. And
it's a very full roster, obviously. I'm sure you're not the only one waiting. Yeah.
And talking to Cyborg, they said they were begging to get on like the whole year, and they finally made it on one of the cards. So there you go. That's their champ. right?
It's
if the champ's big.
And lately we've been very, as a company, Fight Fans, we've been very pro PFL for a couple of years. Like I said, we've been to a lot of events, and they take good care of us, and it's like that. But then just recently, it's just we just have to be honest, and just like it just seems they're in a bad funk, and how they communicate with other fighters and how stuff's going. It's just like we've just been very, Elle and I both have been just very upfront of like, hey, it's just something's happened. Like something is happening that's not good for fighters. And of course that rubs us the wrong way. So it's I don't know. We wish them the best because we want another brand. It's important for the industry.
It's bad for the sport to only have the UFC. It's bad for the sport.
Yeah, I agree, obviously. And obviously it's been like tough. I've been frustrated, but I've just had to keep training and keep evolving, because I know when the chance does come, I don't want to be like, oh, I was just pissed off for the entire year and not actually working, right? So yeah, definitely. If you're doing the game bread, throw my
not even that. I'm gonna, Julie, when we get off air, I'm gonna message you the number that you need to the head guy. Yeah. I'm going to be out there November 15th, or next show. We just had Randy Costa and Brandon Davis. 11 UFC veterans are fighting on this card. Kevin Lee's on the card. It's a stacked card. It's awesome. They've been so great to me. I work for them. Like I said, I do their post-fight stuff and their the press conferences and all. It's great. They take great care of us.
Awesome. Yeah, that's here. So I'd definitely be willing to do that for sure, because I'm just sick of waiting, and I'll going to bare knuckle boxing. I'm like, okay, I've just worked for the last year and a half mainly on my wrestling and ground, and so I'm like, okay, this is just a bit of a transition. Obviously, I mean, MMA is as close as it gets to bare knuckle, anyways. We have a little bit of padding, but.
No, and it's so funny you say that. That's where, so when this kind of came to be, it's been like a year and a half. They've had 8 events, and everyone, I talked to everyone beforehand and afterhand, the winners and the losers, and it's literally all the rules. It's in an octagon. Every rule is the UFC. It's just no gloves, and it's as close as you can get. It's the UFC just without the gloves, and the fights have been amazing. But it's so people don't realize how much more grapple and jits and wrestling there has been, because of course when you get jabbed in the face, maybe a little bit with no gloves, it's like, whoa, that's a little bit different. I'm shooting now. I'm taking my shot. So it's been wild.
And it's easier to grapple too.
Easier to grapple.
Chokes in, no gloves in the way. Love that.
Yeah. So maybe I'll be doing a little bit of everything.
Love it. Well, Julie, it's been awesome. Like I said, we've talked a couple of times at the events. We've never had you on the show. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Is there anything else, sponsors or anything that's happening that you would want to get off your chest or talk about?
Not so much. No, thanks for having me on, and I'll definitely be seeing you at an event soon.
Cool. Likewise. We appreciate you. You've been nothing but awesome to us. So we appreciate you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem.
Thanks, Julia.
There you go, Julia Budd. Dude, that was awesome.